Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear sisters. Today, inshallah, we'll continue with a lesson attached to the basmala and the isti'adah, which we call the ways we connect the isti'adah and the basmala with the surah beginning. Here we have four ways to do that. The first way is to cut the three from each other. I mean, the isti'adah, and then the basmala, and then the beginning of the surah. We cut them. I mean, we say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and then we stop, and then we say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and then we stop, and then we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is the first way, and this is the most common, that we stop at the end of the ayah. The second case, it is going to be joining the three, to join the isti'adah with the basmala and the beginning of the surah, and also this is something correct you can do. Like to say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين, like that. So in this case, you're gonna connect the three parts together. The third case is to join the Bismillah and the beginning of the surah. I mean, to say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, and you stop, and then you connect the Bismillah with the beginning of the surah, saying بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين, like that. The fourth case, and the fourth way you can do, is to join the isti'adah with the basmala, and then you start the surah, like أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, and then you start الحمد لله رب العالمين, like that. So in this case, you're gonna attach the isti'adah and the basmala together, and then you start the surah. And now we knew four ways. All of them are correct, but for sure we prefer to stop at the end of each ayah, and this is the way the Prophet Muhammad did all or most of the time. We'll see now another thing, which is the basmala, if it is in between two surahs. It is very important to know here. You have also many ways to do. The first way is to cut off from each other. I mean, now we have ended the first surah and you're going to start the next surah. So how are we going to do it? The first case is to cut them together, to say, for example, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ, and then قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Now you cutting all of them from each other. The end of the previous surah, the Bismillah, and the beginning of the next surah. The second way is to join them together. This is also accepted, to say وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. So in this case, you are able to connect them together, no problem about this. The third case is to join the Bismillah with the beginning of the surah, which is like that. وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس. That's also accepted. The one which is not accepted, which is the fourth way, is to join the Bismillah with the end of the surah. This is not accepted. You should not join the Bismillah with the end of the previous surah, because this will give an impression that this Bismillah is the part of the previous surah. Okay? So in this case, we should not do that. We should not join the Bismillah with the end of the previous surah. So this is not allowed. Now, if you have two surahs, they are not consecutive, and you want to connect them together with the Basmala. For example, now we are Surah Al-Fil and then Surah Al-Ikhlas. You have to cut them all. This is the first way. This is accepted, to say, for example, فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ, and then بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ, and then قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. So you cut off all of the parts. The second way is to join the Bismillah with the beginning of the other surah, فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ, and then بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Okay, this is the second case. And that's also accepted, no problem about it. Okay, as I told you, the only thing which is not accepted is to connect the Bismillah of the previous surah to the previous surah. I mean, to connect the Bismillah of the surah next to the previous surah. Yeah. Then we have something you need to know, which is the connection between Surah Al-Anfal and Surah Tawbah. Remember, I told you that Surah Tawbah doesn't include the Basmala. We don't have Basmala here, so we need to know how we can connect between the Surah Al-Anfal, the surah before At-Tawbah, and Surah At-Tawbah. How can I connect them together? Now, the first way that the reader finished the Surah Al-Anfal, then stop, take a breath, then read the beginning of Surah At-Tawbah, and he didn't say the Basmala. For sure, as I told you, we are not saying the Basmala. So he should say, إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. براءة. So here he is stopping at the end of the surah before At-Tawbah, and then taking a breath, and then starting the first ayah of Surah At-Tawbah. The second way is that the reader finished the surah Al-Anfal, then he stopped without breath, which we call a sect. A sect is to do like a slight pause, but you don't take a breath. You don't take a breath. So here you do a sect in between the end of Surah Al-Anfal and the first ayah of Surah Tawbah, like that. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ بَرَاءَةٌ. So here you just take a breath and then you connect with the beginning of the next surah, Surah At-Tawbah, but without taking a breath. The last way that you join them, you join the last verse of Surah Al-Anfal, and you don't stop, and in this case you're gonna apply the ruling here. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ براءة. So here you join the last verse of Surah Al-Anfal without stopping, and you apply the vowels, the ruling in between the last ayah and the beginning of Surah Bara'ah. So now you knew all the ways you can read, reconnect the Basmala in the between the surahs, and also the Basmala, especially when you're gonna read Surah At-Tawbah. Jazakumullah khair. I hope you made benefit from this lesson, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.